I did make a conscious choice. And I think that taking that responsibility also is like kind of taking the power back a little of like, okay, why did I do that? I think it was more of an internal thing of like, well, if I do this, I'm going to make more money.
A lot of the people we've spoken with have talked about the pressure to escalate the type of content that they post over time. Have you seen or experienced that progression yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think going from making vegan content to going and making like full on porn is a pretty big jump. So, yeah, I definitely think the pressure is there. I think the pressure is there because of the money. And at least for me, it was because of the money. You're like, okay, well, if I do this, I'll make more money. And then you make the money and you're like, okay, so maybe it's not as bad. And so as they're wanting more explicit content, you're just wanting more money. And it's rough.
Because over time, you can't make the same money doing vegan content, for example, or,
Well,
right, you have
yeah,
to
and
escalate.
yeah, and the industry has changed so much since I first joined, and I think that's really why I'm very open about it is because 'cause I'm like, yes, I was making 10K a month off vegan content, that's impossible now. It's not the same industry that it was in 2022 or 2021. It's completely different now. Everyone's doing porn, so how can you differentiate yourself and get to the top and make the most money? And it's having to be extreme, and that's really, you see it in the porn industry in general. It always starts with something that's simple and then it always escalates to something more and something dangerous. And it's the same thing on OnlyFans. So yes, the pressure to escalate your content is there. The pressure of people wanting more is there. And now you have these big faces and characters who are doing extreme sport because they need to put themselves at the top as quick as possible. It's not really shocking, it's dangerous, and that's the slippery slope that you go down.
There's only a very small percentage of creators that are actually making money.
Mhm.
The average creator isn't making a lot of money.
No, you're not gonna make, 100 grand a month, unless you already have a really big platform or you're famous, and that's where they see, like, celebrities making what, $9 million a month? I don't know. And it's like, okay, well, you're not them. You're not going to be making $9 million a month on OnlyFans. That's really what I've learned through this as well, is that all of the glitz and the glamour is not going to make you happy if you are doing something that you hate and you are, empty and lacking purpose. I think it's that, and just realizing like this isn't normal. And if it was normal, I would have felt good doing it. And everyone kind of just assumed that it was this great thing and that I was living this great life. And that's what it looks like on social media. And so I think people were shocked to hear about what was going on behind the scenes. When I tell them, "Oh, yeah, I hated that and I dealt with this," they're like, "What? Like, how you were doing all this stuff?" And I'm like, yeah, but I was also dealing with this.
For anyone who is considering joining OnlyFans, what would you say to them?
Just believe in yourself enough to do what you're actually called to do, and that this is not a crutch, this is not a buffer, this is not gonna give you the lifestyle that you want. There's no shortcuts to success, and you hear that in everybody's story, and the people who do try to shortcut it, they end up losing everything and having to start over anyways. So just avoid that step, and it's not gonna be easy, and it's gonna suck, and you're gonna see people that it seems like everyone's moving faster than you, and it is what it is. That's part of it, but you have to do it right. And also, just the whole lifestyle is all fake. Everything's fake. People aren't as rich as they say they are. Everything's pretty boring. It's really not as glamorous as you think. I think the most glamorous thing to be is at peace with yourself.